Iridescent add-ons are the rarest, most expensive add-ons you can find in your Blood Web. Some of them are supposed to completely change the way you play the game, like Hack's Waterlogged Shoe or Myers' Tombstone. Or they offer a game-changing advantage that makes a killer even stronger than before. But other times, iridescent add-ons are simply a joke, like is the case with Iridescent Feather from the artist. This add-on is supposed to be a playstyle changing add-on, like is the case with the Nurse Matchbox, where the artist gets the ability of having the undetectable status effect anytime your birds are on cooldown. And because this effect is so strong, the devs decided to nerf your power by removing one crow, leaving you only with two. Now, as someone who plays the artist, this nerf is not that big of a deal, because most of the time, the best way to play the artist only requires you to use 2 crows at best. However, when you consider the point of this add-on, this nerf makes no sense. Since the undetectable status effect happens during the cooldown of your birds, with only 2 of them, the max amount of undetectable you get is only 9 seconds, which is laughably bad. This is 1 second more than Skull Merchant's base kit undetectable, and 1 second less than what she can get with a yellow rarity add-on. Combine this with the fact that after using your crows, survivors will know your location more or less. This makes this add-on a completely useless effect for most of your matches against competent survivors, all at the cost of being an iridescent add-on. You can also pair this add-on with the Ink Egg to get 1 crow back, and now you have your undetectable be available during 12 seconds. But this playstyle of being undetectable without your power is something worthy of an iridescent add-on? In my personal opinion, it isn't. Hellshire Iron from the Deathslinger. Another add-on just like the previous one, only this one is arguably worse in my opinion. Just like the Iridescent Feather, both of the add-ons will grant you the undetectable status effect after using your power. In this case, Hellshire Iron will grant you 10 seconds of the undetectable status effect after you spear a survivor. The first problem of this effect is that you already lose some of the effects once the survivor leaves after a hit or a stun, so already the duration of 10 seconds is way too short. The second issue is that this add-on is completely pointless either way, as unlike with the artist, where at least you can play as an M1 killer around certain loops, Deathslinger is a 110% killer and you also have to waste your time reloading if you want your power back. So overall, this makes Hellshire Iron to be a complete waste of an add-on slot, which honestly is not that big of a deal considering most of his add-ons are trash. But just to put into perspective of how bad this add-on is, remember that the Huntress has an add-on which is a very rare that grants her the undetectable status effect for 30 seconds after reloading. So it's a better effect, easier to get, and gives you more duration than an iridescent add-on. In my opinion, I would go as far as to make this add-on grant the undetectable status effect permanently to the Deathslinger as long as the Redeemer is not loaded. This gives Slinger the choice of being an undetectable killer at the cost of not having your power, and reloading it whenever you want it back. Soldier's Puttee from the Huntress. So since I mentioned the Huntress, I think it's a great moment to talk about Soldier's Puttee, arguably the most underwhelming and pathetic iridescent add-on in the entire game. All this does is make it so that you run at normal speed once all of your hatchets are gone, which is laughably bad, and I don't understand how this add-on was even considered worthy of an iridescent. At worst, you have to miss 7 times in order to get the effects of this add-on, which makes you run at normal speed. So by that point, just play the Trapper. At best, you can use this with the iridescent head in order to not make it as punishing to miss a hatchet, but at that point, it's still a terrible add-on and you should go and reload immediately in order to use Eerie Head. So what is the point of this add-on? It promotes playing in the worst way possible, and even when you do, there is nothing special about it. Even if this were to be a brown rarity, I would still think it's one of the worst add-ons in the entire game, and the only reason it's not the worst in this video is simply because it's not detrimental to your power. In my opinion, they should completely rework this add-on, and maybe make it so that you no longer can reload your hatchets from lockers, but instead you now get your hatchet back after hitting a survivor, and they are constantly being reloaded passively back. This would change the Huntress playstyle to make her more careful with hatchet usages while rewarding her for hitting shots, and it can also be combined with Iridescent Head in order to play Huntress like it was a one in the chamber game mode. Sacrificial Knife from the Dredge. For all of our previous killers, at the very least, they all had another Iridescent add-on which was not that bad to compensate. For the Dredge, sadly, it's between a choice of something rotten and something putrid, and in my opinion the worst one has to be Sacrificial Knife, which all it does is block all windows 16 meters from you for 5 seconds once you come out of a locker during nightfall. If you thought that niche effect is already underwhelming enough for something with such a niche activation condition, then hold on to your seat when I tell you that the effect only triggers after you regain movement control with the Dredge, and not when you teleport to a locker. The very first thing a survivor is going to do when you teleport to a locker is run away from it, so 16 meters is already a pathetic distance, and 5 seconds is an even more pathetic block when you can get 15 seconds as a secondary effect from Bamboozle. The worst part is that this add-on doesn't even work when you teleport back to your Remnant, so you cannot use it to outplay a survivor in a loop that doesn't have a locker. I am truly wondering if anyone has ever had value from this Iridescent add-on, because it's horrible. Again, it's not the worst, because it's not a detrimental add-on and instead it's a positive effect. It's just that the positive effect is so bad that this would even be considered trash had it been a rare add-on. Now that we have buffed Dredge, and now that various of the window blocking perks have been buffed as well, like Cruel Limits or Crowd Control, I think giving this add-on a similar effect would make it worthy of an Iridescent. Make it so that anytime you teleport during nightfall, all vaults 16 meters from the location of that locker will be blocked until nightfall ends, and the effect starts the moment you teleport to the locker, not after. This means that you can teleport around random lockers during nightfall to block the windows one by one, and then start chasing a survivor with all the windows around that area blocked. Redheads Pinky Finger from the Clown. Now we arrive at the very first add-on that is, in my opinion, way too detrimental to be considered a meme add-on and not game-changing enough to warrant an entire build made around it. That add-on is Redheads Pinky Finger, one of the most busted add-ons in the history of DbD, which originally made the Clown one of the strongest killers in the game. Nowadays, this add-on is terrible. On paper, the effect is pretty strong, as it gives the exposed status effect to any survivor hit with your bottles directly, so you can end a chase fast or camp a hook in order to guarantee a sacrifice. That's it, because the penalty for using this add-on is that you only have one bottle with you at all times, so you no longer can use your yellow bottles to move around the map, and if you miss, you are powerless until you reload. In other words, unlike the other add-ons which give you agency on using your power, with this add-on you trade your entire power for an exposed opportunity, not a guarantee, and with no way of getting your power back, so all loops now have to be played as an M1 killer, and once survivors know that you have this add-on, they can play in an even safer way in order to prevent you from getting value out of it. If you want a killer that can expose survivors, just use Michael Myers, Ghostface or Hillbilly. There is no benefit of using this add-on with the Clown. I like the idea of an add-on that rewards you from hitting direct shots, but the exposed status effect hinders this add-on to be either absolute trash or way too good. So I think instead, this add-on should keep your bottle count, but make survivors blind on impact. And when I mean blind, I don't mean the status effect. I mean, give them the effect of two can play and make survivors blind like if they were just flashbanged. I still think this add-on would be trash, but at the very least, it would be usable in meme builds and it would be funny. Carburettor Tuning Guide from the Leatherface. A year ago, this add-on would have been the #1 worst Iridescent add-on, all because of how it was bugged and actually made your power significantly worse. Nowadays, this add-on is a gimmick that is still a considerable downgrade compared to default Leatherface. Carburettor's Tuning Guide removes all of Bubba's chainsaw tokens, and instead, now you use your chainsaw all at once, just like how he used to work in the past. So what this add-on does is bring old Bubba back for those of you that missed out on how he worked. While in concept, that idea is really cute, in practice, it proves why Leatherface got a rework in the first place. By using all of your tokens at once, now anytime you hit a pallet, you have to wait until all of your tokens are charged back in order to get the maximum value out of your chainsaw. This add-on also comes with the penalty of a speed reduction during your chainsaw sweeps, which can also be noticeable. The only way to make this add-on work is to use the meta Leatherface build he had in the past, where you run anti-pallet perks along with play with your food in order to insta-saw survivors by catching them off guard with your speed. Since this add-on consumes all tokens at once, it only counts as one chainsaw sweep, allowing you to keep tokens with play with your food. I have never seen anyone get value from this add-on alone, and all the times it was used, it was combined with the Flesh add-on, which is actually a fun Iridescent, unlike the Carburettor's Tuning Guide. The funniest part is that personally, I wouldn't change this add-on in terms of effect, but I would change it from being an Iridescent, because unlike the Flesh, this one by itself is detrimental and would fit more as a meme add-on. Obsidian Goblet from the Pyramid Head. Everyone knew this moment was gonna come, as Pyramid Head is notorious for having some of the worst add-ons out of all killers in the cast, and Obsidian Goblet is proof of that. This amazing Iridescent add-ons effect will remove your tear radius whenever you're walking on top of your torment trails. It doesn't work while you're putting them on the ground, as they spawn behind you, and also the tear radius doesn't immediately get removed once you step on it. What does get removed immediately is the undetectable effect, as it has no lingering effects to it, so the moment you step out, you lose the benefit of this add-on. I don't think it's necessary for me to go into detail as to why this add-on is absolutely terrible. The best way to describe it is a budget Insidious perk, and considering the fact Insidious is already a terrible effect, you can imagine how this add-on is ranked in the community. Obsidian Goblet's effect is unique, don't get me wrong, but it's just absolutely terrible, and in-game, it has barely any effect outside of camping the basement, and even then, if you get caught, you're wasting time, pressure, and it makes you look pathetic as survivors know you wasted your blood points on this expensive add-on. I like the idea of setting up trails not for survivors to step on, but for you to travel to. So what I would do is increase the duration and amounts of trails that can be left around the map, make the undetectable status effect have a lingering duration of 15 seconds to make it worthy of an Iridescent, and on top of that, add a haste bonus for Pyramid Head anytime he is walking on top of the trails, but without a lingering effect. That way, you can circle a loop with your trails in order to catch up to survivors faster, and set up trails around the map in order to use them as paths to give you a bit of map mobility. I would actually use that add-on if this were the effect. Iridescent Tape for Sadako. And finally, in my opinion, as the absolute worst Iridescent add-on in Dead by Daylight, we have the Iridescent Tape for Sadako, and this add-on is genuinely terrible. Back in the days, this add-on was one of the best she had, as it turned the TV back on anytime you hit a survivor after manifesting, giving her an incredible map presence and mobility at almost all times. The essence of the add-on is not lost, as now, this add-on will allow Sadako's TVs to be on, instead of turning off anytime you teleport to them, but at the massive cost of completely removing your condemned status effect from your power, so now your entire slowdown, as well as the reason Sadako even exists in the first place, is completely gone. And on top of that, if you thought that effect was not bad enough, the devs added a 20% time increase anytime a survivor turns off a TV, So now, instead of them taking 70 seconds to turn on, it takes 84 seconds. Why the devs decided to give an actual buff to survivors as part of one of your Iridescent add-ons is bewildering to me. So, at the cost of 2 massive penalties, you get to be an M1 killer that is around the map at all times as long as survivors are not dumb and interact with the TVs. And the funniest part is that I think there is a chance the devs accidentally gave this effect to the wrong add-on, because now the videotape copy, which was the original meme add-on for Sadako that removed Condemned, is now one of her best add-ons by far. So there is a chance the devs gave the strong effect to the meme add-on and gave the meme add-on effect to the Iridescent, because otherwise I genuinely do not understand what was on their minds to even program this absolute dog water add-on. And those add-ons were my choices, but let me know in the comments if you think there is another Iridescent add-on I should have talked about. As always, thank you for watching and have a nice day.